Hey everyone, welcome back to Author Journey. My name is CJ Anaya. Today we're going to delve into part 5 of how to develop character arcs, and I apologize if you've been waiting for this for a couple of weeks. I had a few other things to share with you, but now we're getting back on track with this particular series of tutorials. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that little bell notification so that you will be notified when I upload more videos, especially these in a series if you're waiting for them. But let's just delve right into it. So in the last video, we went over how your character moment ties in with the hook, or that beginning 25% of your novel, by utilizing the lie, the want, and the need. So just a brief recap right there. Another aspect of this setup is the regular world your character exists in at the start of this story. So we're still in the setup phase. We're still working on the first 25% of your book. Now, depending on your genre, there could be some major world building taking place within a fantasy, paranormal, or post-apocalyptic type story, okay? However, whether this story is set in what we would consider a normal type of world that we're all familiar with, or a fantastical world filled with magic and fairies, or possibly a very strange or different world social order, the world you present has to be the regular world for your character. Now, I'm not going to go into world building right now. I would like to do a different series on that, but just know that world building is going to be a different aspect of that. It is something that you need to learn if you are creating a world that is vastly different from the one that we all know and understand, okay? And we'll get into that in different tutorials, but just know that this regular world is something that needs to be familiar to your character, obviously, and is something that you need to really put a lot of thought into. So this regular world or setting that you've created for your character needs to do a couple of things. It needs to be the type of world or setting that your character doesn't want to leave or can't leave. It also needs, it's also the stage upon which your story will take off and the adventure will begin. So you're going to ask yourself, what type of regular world or setting will give you the best possible explanation for the lie your character continues to believe in? So what's the most logical world that you could place your character in? Maybe not logical, but the type of world you could place your character in where they're logically going to believe in this lie. It's really going to reinforce the lie that they believe. It has to allow your character complacency, resignation, apathy, survival, whatever the case may be, depending on the lie and the setting. And this world involves the same old stuff without offering any type of challenge or possible hope of escape or progression in any one direction. Now, when I say offering any type of challenge, I don't mean that it doesn't have its challenges. I'm just saying that your character is in this same state, okay? Not progressing or moving forward, but either they're challenged specifically constantly in one way or another, or they're not in one way or another. But you just need to establish this world, what their everyday life is like, and so that it can be a very strong, strange contrast to the adventure world that they're eventually going to jump into. And when I say adventure, I just mean before the adventure begins, or the journey that they take begins, because some books are adventure books and some books are not. So it's just that obvious change, okay? This world then has to contrast with the adventure type setting your character will be thrown into. It's the same world, but now something comes along and takes your character on a journey of change, throwing the same old out of whack. Either your character leaves the regular world behind entirely, or simply things change within the existing world to make it different on an emotional and even physical level, something that's really going to challenge them. So I want to give you an example of a book that I just recently read. I've been on a fun paranormal urban fantasy kick as of late. This is Court of Darkness. So in the book Court of Darkness, Ariana's world is fairly hopeless. This regular world she lives in is hopeless for someone who is a supernatural like her. So several years previously, the Four Horsemen created the apocalypse, killing human and supernaturals alike, and to counteract this evil, the humans banded together and they asked the Fae to send all supernatural folks back to their own realms, including the Horsemen. So the Fae, the humans didn't want any supernatural creatures in their world at all to avoid this type of apocalyptic scenario again. They're only allowing the Fae because they felt that they would be the most I don't know, honest, upright. Go figure why, but that's kind of what the setup is. So several years later, any supernatural found on Earth is killed by the Shadow Fae, the enforcers of this treaty. So if they're not in the realm they're supposed to be in and they're on Earth, then they're going to get hunted by the Shadow Fae. Ariana was in captivity when most supernaturals were sent to their respective realms. So the guy who kept her in captivity ran a gladiator ring. He just built a business off of all this chaos happening during the apocalypse. And she was a slave, a fighter for a really long time. So once she finally escapes that, she finds herself in a world where she's no longer allowed to be in. She missed the boat when it came to leaving and going to the correct realm that she was assigned to. So, and several supernaturals did for various reasons. So the supernaturals that are left on Earth find that their very existence is considered a crime. Her very existence is considered a crime. So she lives in this world hiding who she is, which is a worthless gutter fae or a monster. And this regular world she lives in only enforces this lie that she believes, that she's a monster, that she's worthless, that she's not meant to be happy, never meant to progress or rise above her station. She's always going to be a fugitive who has to hide in plain sight. This is her world, and she's working in bars and just trying to make ends meet, hiding who she is. Now, this is in direct contrast to what happens. She's still going to be in this same world, but the adventure begins, or this plot point occurs, when Shadow Fae are basically told who she is and where she is, where they can find her. So she's been given up by someone she knows, and she's going on the run and trying to avoid being attacked by Shadow Fae, and inevitably ends up being recruited to the Shadow Fae to see if she can become one of them. So instead of being killed, there's the threat of being killed, but she has to prove to everyone that she can survive. So she goes from this regular world to this new world where she actually has a chance to prove that she's more than a monster or worthless or a gutter fae. And so you can see the juxtaposition, that it's the same world, but these challenges are different. The same old, which really is very challenging and difficult and not fun for her, is now being changed and upended. She's no longer surviving just to survive. She's actually surviving to become something more in this new world order that she's found herself in among the Shadow Fae. So that's just an example of this contrast between regular world and this new journey and this adventure, what is occurring within the world now, and how it shapes her emotions, how it shapes what she does with other people, with relationships, how it shapes her viewpoint and her misconceptions of herself and the world around her. Okay, so I want you to consider these questions as you continue to develop your setting and you build this first 25% of your book. So what setting will you use to start your book? And how will this setting change at the first crucial plot point from the regular world to the new world of adventure, self-discovery, challenge? You get the picture. And how does this regular world you've created facilitate this lie your character believes in? So how does it allow them to continue to believe in it? Does your character want to be a part of this world? Why? Does he or she want to leave this world? Why? So an example could be a story about a small town girl who wants more than anything to move to the city. She's not happy with the regular world. She wants something new and exciting. If the regular world is already a great place, then how should your character grow and change to eventually be happy in it, okay, and overcome the lie? So these are just aspects that you're going to add within your character arc and within the plot point of your story, because in any good outline, you're going to have a very good setting, and you need to set that world up and do that world building within the first 25% of the book. And so it's all very tricky and interconnected here. Whoops. So please go over these questions. And here's the thing. When you're doing this, make sure that you don't sit there and go, oh, I have to answer all of these questions. No, these are to prompt you and to help you consider how you could write these things. If you use them all, that's great. But I want you to start thinking outside the box and brainstorming how you can set this up properly, okay? Now, I actually have a link to this book because I firmly believe that if I'm going to use books as examples, I should leave links to them so that you can go and enjoy these books and these authors can enjoy your patronage and enjoy having people buy them, which we should because authors are awesome. So be sure to check out this book. There's 2 in the series so far. I've really enjoyed them because I love women with swords and fighting, and I secretly want to be, you know, a ninja, which is apparently not so secret now that I've announced it on YouTube. So go and check out this book. Make sure that you comment if you have any questions about setting, if you have questions about world building. I will create another tutorial, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.